Here we have Sebastian's poster. I want to thank the Aware Foundation of Virginia. Thank you, Kenny Geralds, for making all of these wonderful missing flyers for all of the missing people out here in the United States. This is for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Please share to locate. Sebastian is autistic and he likes to hide under things. So TBI is asking residents who live near the search area around Beach High School along Long Hollow Pike to please check your outbuildings, your garages, your cars, and under your decks, anywhere where someone may hide and take shelter in case Sebastian used any of these as hiding places. And if you have seen or know about where Sebastian could be, please do not hesitate. Call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838, or you can reach out to TBI, which is the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, at 1-800-TBI-FIND. If you see this poster or any of the beautiful missing flyers that are circulating around for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please, please, please circulate that information around. You never know when somebody may see this young man out walking around. I did speak to the parents also because I would like to maybe get some people together that might be interested in getting up a billboard for Sebastian in Hendersonville, Tennessee. We've put up billboards for Summer Wells. We've put up billboards for Tyler Doyle. We've put up billboards for Jaden Carpenter. So I think anything at this point would possibly help to locate Sebastian and get his face out there. And the mom said that that would be wonderful, whatever it takes to bring her Bubba home. And that's what we want to do, is we want to bring this child home safe. Okay, we have Trev here. Hey, Trev.
Good evening, Duchess. Thanks for having me up.
I was actually talking to the family, and I told them all about your channel and the wonderful work that you're doing for the missing, and that I wanted to connect them to you because I felt like that you might be able to give them some local resources and help.
In these kind of cases, whatever I can do, small, big, whatever it is, it's all about us all playing our part. And so I'm happy to help however
Absolutely.
I can, especially if it's here somewhere I can, I can be within driving distance ever get to.
Does he have a lot of energy? Does he like to go on long walks and things like that?
Especially off his medicine.
I really would like to get a billboard up for Sebastian. And I think I had mentioned that to you earlier. Do you think that this might be something that would benefit Sebastian to get his face out there if we could get a couple of billboards? Guys, give me some feedback in the chat and let me know what you think. I might could, crowdfund. That's what membership is for. When you guys are members of this channel, that's actually where your money goes, is to these little crowdsourcing things that I do. So I have some money already put back that I can put forward to it, but I probably wouldn't be able to keep it up for more than just a few days because it can get expensive. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think, Trev, what are your thoughts about that? Do you think that having a billboard up for Sebastian might be beneficial?
I think so. I mean, it's, we've looked at that in plenty of cases, and you and I have spoken about that before, talked with, different families. It's at the very least, it's keeping that face and that story in the public eye. It's keeping people reminded of what's going on in their community, what's going on locally, what's going on the next county over, whether they work there, live there, travel through there, they're seeing it.
Well, I can certainly design a billboard. We can work together behind the scenes. You can send me a picture and let me know exactly what you would like it to say, and we can get something started on a blip as early as tomorrow. If you think that that's going to be something, I will look at the locations and I can let you know where they're at. and we can try to get something going. Cold Case Crystal, thank you so much for being here. That's another person that's on my team that covers cases, and she's in Kentucky. And Crystal, did you just send me a Cash App? Cold Case Crystal, thank you so much for sending me that, and I will definitely put it for the billboard. We're still going to put up some billboards for Jaden Carpenter, so you and I need to get together in the next couple of days so we can get these billboards up as soon as possible, because we need to help find Sebastian. Is there anything else that you guys want to share with us that you think that we need to know about the circumstances involving Sebastian going missing? Is there anything that you want to share with us that we have not talked about? I'm going to put up this flyer again here so you guys can take another look at that.
I mean, everything that we've covered so far, I mean, is exactly everything that we've covered. You know, we miss him and we want him home.
Exactly.
I want my baby home.
Yes, Mary, that is true. There is an anonymous group of Nashville business owners that have started a reward fund for Sebastian, and that is $3,000. So we want to thank those anonymous business owners for doing that. That's an amazing thing to do. I did ask the family if there was any other reward funds that were going to be activated at this time, and there are not. And that's all they're going to say on that. And the families are entitled to privacy, Ginger Snaps, absolutely. And they are entitled to respect, and they will get it in this house. Because today is 7 days. And this is a critical time that we need to come together, and Trev has been sharing information every day. He has been doing live streams, and you guys definitely need to connect. I will put you guys in touch with each other because he's local to Tennessee, and I know that he will be able to help in any way that he can. And we will definitely connect this week, and we will, if not tonight, then tomorrow, so we can get those billboards up. I will get with Crystal later, and we'll talk about that and try to get those worked out as soon as possible. Is there anything else that you want us to share? Is there anything else that you think that we have not covered, Trev? Is there anything that you want to add to this conversation that you feel that we've missed?
Well, I just want to encourage people to keep going. It's, keep the hope up and keep sharing his picture, keep sharing his story, keep sharing his flyer, keep praying that he returns, and keep listening to what we're told by authorities, because they're out there looking and they haven't stopped and they won't. We all play our part in different ways. If you're on social media, simply sharing his flyer. If you're here on YouTube, simply interacting with a video that has his information. Whatever it is, do it for Sebastian. Because until he's brought home, that's the mission, that's the goal, and that's the fight. And that's what we'll do, standing beside this family and beside those looking and beside Sebastian until he comes home.
Absolutely. It's the end goal. So if you see this flyer on social media, you guys can share this from my YouTube community wall, from Trev's. You can share it from our Facebook pages. I'm sure Arctic Fox also has it on his page. Whatever we can do to try to help your family, please reach out to me and let me know. And we have a wonderful group of people in this community that will try to do whatever we can. And hopefully I'll hear something from Wings of Hope, and they'll let me know if they're going to be able to try to assist. David Bryant, thank you so much for your super chat. He said, we're going to find him. Keep your head up and hug him tight when he gets back. Prayers for y'all. Everyone keep searching and doing what we can. David, I appreciate that. I'm going to take that $50 and I'm going to put it towards that billboard that I'm going to design. We're going to get that up for Sebastian as soon as we can. I really appreciate you donating. It means so much. Well, guys, I really appreciate you joining us. If you have any updates that you want to share with us, please don't hesitate to reach out. If there's something that you want to share, if you want to me to have another live stream, you may want to have a live stream with Trev. He has a large following on his channel, and some of those people don't necessarily follow my stream. So I'm sure they might, want to talk to you. And so we can continue to share out Sebastian's information, and you will be on my prayer list. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll even share my phone number with you. And if there's anything that you need, you can call me.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Just hope someone finds it.
You guys just keep praying. Listen, I'm going to let you guys go. And I will be in touch with you. Just text me tomorrow. We'll get together and we'll work on this billboard to get up. And I'll let you know the locations that are available for a Blit billboard. And I'll try to get that arranged as soon as possible. If you need anything, just reach out to me and let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And I will put Trev in touch with you. Take care, guys.
Thanks for doing that and for having me up. Definitely we'll get in touch with them, and I'll coordinate some stuff with both flyers locally and talk to them about. There's a search group that if they get involved, then I will be on my way to that area too, and I'll be on the ground. So.
Okay. Thank you, Sugar Magnolia. It's so good to see you, darling. I hadn't seen you in a while. She said, I'm in Warren and I'll be looking. I appreciate that. Alma, thank you so much. Watching from Nashville, checked my property all the time, just in case. Ruru says, I'm in Knoxville, a long way away, but keeping Sebastian in my prayers. Continue to share this case. We're going to get that billboard up. And I've got some other people that I know in Tennessee too, Trev. So, if you have flyers or things that you need to have hung up, maybe I can get Crystal or Michelle or somebody to meet up with you. Maybe they can pick up some flyers from you. We do what we can. Yes, Leslie says, I must repeat, check abandoned cars and vehicles. Please don't forget to do that. If you have trail cams, ring cameras, outbuildings, barns, crawl spaces, make sure you are checking everything. And just because you've checked it once doesn't mean that he might not suddenly show up there. Like, we don't really know the circumstances involved or where he may be. And no one has spotted him on camera so far. We did hear the stepdad say that they had hours and hours of camera footage, and he wasn't even spotted leaving their house on neighbors' camera footage. So, but she did say the neighborhood was very dark.
The signs that we've been blessed to have family, friends, and even some in the community that have been helping us, but we've been out spreading those as far as we can, even over state lines, trying to get awareness because, not everybody knows that he's missing, and there's a chance that if someone could see him and not even realize who he is. So we want to get his face out there because we want him home.
Surprisingly, even locally, there are some folks that don't even know what's going on, and it's kind of like a shocker. Like, how do you not know?
Pretty terrible, to be honest with you. 24 days in, and there's a bunch of horrible things being said and a bunch of misinformation being spread, and my son is still missing. And so it's horrible. There's not a better word for it, to be honest with you.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to talk about Sebastian. Maybe we could just start there.
Yeah, I think Chris is still trying to join as well. A lot of people are accusatory when we speak. It's a lie. Oh, it's not us. And the
Well,
truth is no matter what any of y'all think, I didn't do anything to my son. My husband didn't do anything to my son. We love him dearly, and we are doing everything that we can to try and find him and bring him home. And his father loves him dearly as well.
mhm. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. Let me say that. I would not want to be in your shoes.
I wouldn't want anybody to have to be in my shoes, to be honest with you. It's nothing any parent should ever have to go through.
Right. People just have a lot of questions, just trying to make sense of everything.
Well, it's your opinion and you're entitled to it, obviously, but I can tell you that the pain that his father and I, and even my husband, are feeling right now is immeasurable, to be honest with you. And I have never in my life would I have ever dreamed that this would be a reality.
Hey,
We all have opinions, and there's no stone we can leave unturned. We have to think outside the box, but we all want Sebastian found.
I mean, unless you got proof, don't open your mouth because it's real simple. I don't have any of that. Good luck finding it. I've never lied to y'all. I've been open and honest. People don't like my answers, so people want to come back with their own assumptions. And I'm so sorry that I can't open up and give you every little piece of evidence and every little detail that we know. I am terribly sorry. It sucks because when it does and it can come out, my only question to everybody else is, when are you going to start issuing public apologies? That's not to you. That is to everybody that wants to come out and badmouth people that don't understand and don't have a clue what's going on. And I think that's pretty fair.
Their past is, or what they say, if they can help you get Sebastian's name out.
So when you and I'll be honest with you, I've heard some of yours, and the toxicity that comes out of what you guys projected about me has only toxified everybody else that puts in a lead or says, well, check out the stepfather, do this, do that, call law enforcement, check this out, do this.
Quite frankly, Sebastian's going to find out what everybody's been saying about his parents, and I can't even imagine how distraught he's going to be, but we have to find him.
I mean, and it sucks.
I want to just side note, he's not clapping, y'all.
He's not what?
People keep saying that he's clapping. He's not clapping. That's just background noise.
Oh, I don't hear any. Yeah, y'all.
Some people have heard they're clapping, and that's fine. Yes, I'm currently working. No, I do welcome the hard questions. I do.
Well,
and I'm okay with it. And for the record, I don't have a problem talking with JLR or anybody else. Now, if you're one of these shows that are for profit, you want to talk, you go out and publicly announce it publicly that any money that you make on the show, as long as me and my wife are involved, that money gets directly posted to signs, flyers, or billboards to help find our son. I'll do it. But if it's for personal gain, it ain't happening.
Nobody is going to dictate my money ever. Like somebody just gave me $10. I spent that today in gas and going and getting flyers and doing whatever just on Sebastian. That's where I know you just said that. So
right, but that you're not monetizing on. You're utilizing it to do something to put it forward.
Right.
But those people who want to pocket money, on the other hand, I'm not about pocket. I'm not lining your pockets.
Right. No,
and
I get that.
I'm going to be very respectful because I don't want to say it like I would normally say it. But I tell everybody, well, no, because if there are some folks that don't like cussing.
Well,
but understand something, and I'm respectful about it because I'm being positive here. But if you don't feed me, finance me, or sleep with me, I don't owe anything to anybody at that point.
Well, I think we kind of think of it there, and
See?
I don't have to take in consideration him going to all these places, not just to help Sebastian, but all these other people. That's not free.
Right, but if I'm on his show, we're talking about my son's case. I understand there is a situation of my son, not everybody else's. And I know he's doing his thing, and I appreciate it. What I don't appreciate is some of the stuff he does put out there that when I've asked the guy, I said, do you have proof? Do you have physical evidence that I am anything what you say? And he doesn't. So then keep my name out of your mouth. It's real simple.
And then you don't want him, like if he does this, because he's there now. So, and you don't want him to monetize on that. He's talking about your son, correct?
Yeah, if he's going to monetize, take that money, go buy flyers, go buy yard signs, put it on the billboards.
Okay, all right.
I mean, and that's fair. I'm asked. He wants me on the show. That's fine. Then I want a public acknowledgement that you're going to donate every dollar that you make off of my son's show to finding him.
Okay.
That's fair.
One other thing, because
yes, ma'am.
Before we kind of get started, and the only reason is because fair's fair, and I want to say this. Listen, no matter what happened, don't jump on me yet. I'm not finished with my statement.
Oh, I'm not. You're fine.
If it was an accident, if it was he walked off, if he crawled, if it was, no matter what it was,
right.
I feel for everybody. Okay,
you've got a lot of viewers. I'm not saying your viewers, so let's make that super clear so that viewers don't get that construed with anything. But there's so many people out there with their insinuations, and because you asked that question, it would not surprise me to see a comment, well, that's because they cleaned the house before the cops got there. Trust me, we have seen it all, heard it all. People are putting stuff out there that is completely obtuse from the truth, and it is ridiculous.
Okay, so there was a guy on there that said, and I'm sure y'all watched it, that said everything needs to be relooked at, researched, but everything needs to be spread out more areas,
We've been pushing to spread the search because with the amount of people that we've searched with and had search, and all the volunteers and all the law enforcement with the area that they searched for so long, we feel like if he was that close to home, we should have been able to find him. And so we've been searching out farther than just like within the 5 mile radius, but we've been pushing out and we've been searching farther away from the house, looking for any signs and posting those signs all the way to the state line and then some, in all directions.
People think that y'all have not been doing the flyers. I mean, but y'all have been doing the flyers. Is that correct?
Absolutely, we have.
You absolutely have. Okay.
So let me help some people with some information about things. When it comes to searching, flyers, those signs that people have taken pictures and posted on Facebook that say missing, the yard signs.
Yes.
Those came from us. My mother is a real estate agent. We've got some friends in the business that can help do things, and my mother was able to get the signs for us. So the signs have been distributed between me and Katie and my mother. We've got some really great friends in the family. We got a great community who we have handed signs out to, and they have gone out and placed them. Flyers, we've had, I can't tell you the amount of support that the community has put together as far as helping us with these flyers. We go to make copies of a flyer somewhere, and we asked them and said, look, I just need to know how much it's going to be for this many. And bless everybody that has done this, because a lot of people will only have us pay for 100 of them, but they'll give us 500 of them. Mm-hmm. We've got people in the community that when they hear it, they're like, no, we're paying for that, not y'all, we are. I'm like, no, I appreciate it. I really do. If anything, we'd like to give you some, you can pass them out, whatever. So it's been out there. There's billboards across this entire state. I can tell you personally, from Memphis, Tennessee, all the way to Nashville, going down 40, between 240 and I-40, there's at least 7 billboards that were out there posting Sebastian. There was some in Rivergate, some in Madison. There's some out toward Knoxville. I mean, the reach that we have gotten put out there.
We spoke with a podcaster who focuses on sharing missing persons cases in the South.
My channel is just about helping to find missing people and get their information circulating out there, because the more that people share the information that I put out there, it's going to put that in front of a whole new group of people that might not otherwise see it if they're not subscribed to my social media channels. And it really takes a community, it takes a village of people working together, because you never know when somebody's going to see something and say, hey, I recognize that child.
Through her platform, donors have sponsored 2 new billboards in Nashville, sharing details about Sebastian, one headed to the Rivergate Mall and one headed to downtown Nashville along I-65 from Hendersonville.
There, we've gotten a company that will have in Spanish and in French.
Oh, that
the
needs
flyers
to be done.
are being pushed all the way up into Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're reaching out. We've got great family and friends and blessed people out there. Like I said, if we've never meet you, and I am sorry, I wish we could. I wish we could shake everybody's hand and give everybody a hug, regardless of how you feel or what you think. But the fact that you keep his name in the public view alone, we can't thank you enough.
And I will keep his name and everything out.
Well, if you don't mind me, so I don't know how to say this any other way, and please forgive me because it's going to sound like a jerk.
Say it. Say it.
It's going to sound very jerkish, but I don't want softball questions. People wanted to ask me the hard questions. By golly, let's get these hard questions out. Sorry, but I just.
Well, have you ever had CPS called on you before?
Yes, I've had it. Well, I'll be honest with you. I've had CPS called on me in 2 states, New Mexico and Tennessee.
Did that include with Sebastian?
Tennessee was Sebastian, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And in fact, Sebastian here, like I said, I got nothing to hide. So Sebastian went to school one day because we were at the house. He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, where's your belt? And got it. Whack. Kind of got him. So he goes to school and he tells the teacher. They're mandatory reporters. So the teacher reports it.
Mm-hmm.
That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that was shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3, and it caused a commotion." Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" It's her again. She's like, "Oh, hey." She goes, "Hey, I already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Blue, blue, blue." She told me exactly what happened. I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "Oh my God." I said, "Yes, ma'am. This is how it's been." Sebastian thought by telling on me, making it sound like I was so horrible.
There you go. Okay.
That I was going to get in trouble over something stupid. And I was like, "No, Sebastian, you got punished, man. You got punished." And he was like, but, and I was like, "You got punished." And the lady took him outside. She goes, "Sebastian, just because you get in trouble and you get punished, you need to understand when you go and you say things about people and you lie and you fabricate things and you make it sound worse than what it is, sir, you can get in trouble for that." So that happened, and the lady was like, "I am so sorry." And I said, "No, he's just a child. He's upset. It is what it is. I'm okay with it."
Mm-hmm.
He set that back down at the dinner table and was like, "See, eat your food." And we went back, and everything's been fine.
Yeah.
For clarification, no, I did not allow him to beat my son with a belt. He did not beat my son with a belt.
Oh, I just said, well, in the messages that I asked that it was pertaining to Sebastian's school, right? Like you just said. And You said no, other than him going missing, no CPS cases.
So you didn't ask. You asked about active cases. That's what you asked about, and I answered your
Mm,
question.
you did. You answered my question.
Okay. See, I can't hear him.
Okay. Can y'all
So
now? I think
so
it's in
he
the
he's asked me, and I can't pull it up because if I pull it up, then we lose contact. But he asked me if there was active DCH, CPS, whatever you want to call it, case with Sebastian, and I said yes. He's missing. I was told by the sheriff's department that they had to report it. So yes, there's an active case. Is there anything other than that? No, there's not an
Okay.
active case. So my statement that I told you is true.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I get it. The active investigation, but yeah, but you did really. Maybe it's just because of text, but you did make it seem like there was no like that this was the first time that they'd ever been involved at all.
No, I didn't insinuate. Now understand something. Words on paper are simply words on paper. Whatever
Fair.
emotions you put behind them is directly proportionate to yourself, not
Oh,
me.
sir, I didn't put any emotion behind it. I'm just
Well,
saying.
but you're saying you're trying to insinuate on this show.
No, no,
Yes, you did, sir. Yes,
I'm
because
not. You
you
I'm not
just stated,
insinuating.
you just stated that you
Yes, sir.
said that I made it sound like this. No, I didn't. I told you. I gave you a direct statement, gave you your answer, and that
Hmm.
right there is exactly what I'm talking about. Then you called into the show and you said, "No, you're lying." No, I'm not lying. So call a spade, but make sure you're right. Now, to be honest with you, it has nothing to do with finding my son.
You don't
So
think that you don't think? Okay, all right. Well, look, man.
how does CPS have to do with anything finding Sebastian? Because if you're insinuating something,
Well, you said they
come out and
opened up an
say it.
investigation. You said they opened up an investigation. So you tell me what it has to do with him.
Because what did I tell you? That's what you're not listening. The sheriff's
Mhm.
department told us that they are required to report it to DCS, CPS, whatever you want to call them. They are required to report it to them.
Hmm.
That answer has yet to change. It hasn't changed any of the slightest.
And okay, so that's the. Okay, I get it. So it's the only
Thank you.
open investigation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the next hard one we got? Fire away.
I'm
Okay.
not arguing.
You have a padlock. Is that what you said earlier? That you have a padlock on the, like, I forget what they're called, but where you put the code in, a code lock.
Yeah, not a padlock.
I meant, yeah, I didn't mean a padlock. I'm sorry. The code where you put the code
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah. So would he turn around if he left and actually put that code in? Do you have to put the code in to lock it back? Is
He
that how
locks the Yeah, he locks the door behind himself every time he goes out it.
okay. All right. Is there anybody might have had the combination that could have come in like while you were asleep that the dogs would not be alerted to or anything like that?
The only people that would have access to my house have all been interviewed.
And not only that, but if somebody had been by the front door, punched in the code, believe it or not, no, it's not super clear, but you would have seen a shadow or a figure based on, something would have been visible because one of the lights is still visible from that ring camera from across the street. That has been, like I said, every video, and I've said this through Facebook, everything in the neighborhood. Um, I couldn't talk to you enough positive about my neighborhood because anybody had cameras voluntarily gave up hard drives, flash drives, access to clouds for them. They've let people go in and search their houses multiple times without needing a warrant or a subpoena or anything. They've just openly done it. So I mean, that's why it's so difficult right now.
But what I'm asking is, how did you know that he went specifically out the front door? What made you think that? What made you think that?
We presume that he left out the front door. We never know 100%, obviously, but we presume based off of process of elimination, going over it with law enforcement, going over the house, where things are, how things are, Sebastian's routine, and the fact that that's the door that he always uses or prefers to use, because I won't say 100% of the time he does come in with me through another door, but that's the door Sebastian prominently uses. That's the one that if he were going to sneak out of the house or leave the house for whatever reason, that's the most reasonable door that he would have left out of. Any of the others would have made noise or not
or would
been.
not have been locked.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because
the back door would not lock.
from the outside, like the front, no. You'd have to had the key.
So I'm not going to describe every door lock in our house
I
to
know, I
y'all
understand
personally.
that.
That's a safety thing.
Yeah, I
But
understand that. Don't do that.
yeah, but what I can say is there's only two doors in the house that he could have gone out where he could have locked
From the
on his
outside.
own or from the outside. And the one he wouldn't have gone out because of how much noise it makes. Everybody would have, plus it would have been seen on camera. Let's put it that way. I mean, it would have been seen on camera. So by suspicion or reasonable elimination of all these doors, it's front door.
Okay. There was no windows unlocked or anything like that.
Yeah, with
Yes,
the
yeah,
screens intact and things like that.
yeah. Nothing exterior of the building of our house has been altered.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why it was like, huh? Not only that, but for him to go out the window, so to speak, he would have
Well,
landed in the flower bed and, barefooted. Yeah, we'd have heard something because he had landed on it and screamed.
yeah. Yeah. When y'all were out to eat Sunday, on that day, like when he went out to eat,
His
and
tennis,
let's go ahead.
his tennis shoes, jeans, and a black T-shirt with Grogu on the front.
Okay. And and then he changed before he went to bed into the black.
The black sweatpants with the white stripes down the side and a long sleeve black shirt.
That I think
Which was
what
originally listed on the missing poster as a sweatshirt, and everybody mistaken it for a hoodie. And even Seth said himself that we both were trying to get that corrected because
Yep.
when they said sweatshirt, everybody assumed it meant hoodie, not long sleeve black shirt.
Mhm.
And then another thing, they're not sweatpants. So some of these young cats out there probably don't understand where I'm fixing to go with this.
Well,
But
I
us
call
older
them
folks,
sweatpants.
go back and think of the 1980s Adidas pants where you had the white stripes down the side, almost like a tearaway style pants. That is what the pants were. They weren't sweatpants.
Exactly.
That's why I'm like, older folks will know. These younger kids, I don't know if they'll know or not.
I
Exactly.
just call them sweatpants, but
Well, there's a difference.
Okay.
Give me a good one.
Did you ever use a belt on him?
Have I ever used a belt on Sebastian? Yes.
Okay.
Outside of his clothes, on his buttocks.
Am I understanding this? You hit him with a belt because he didn't have a belt.
No.
no.
Okay.
No. So the question about hitting him on the outside of his clothes on his butt with a belt, that was something that he got in trouble for because he lied to us and he got one lick.
People want to know this. If you're not there, how can you answer all the questions?
So if you notice, there's certain questions that you're asking I'm not saying anything about.
I know.
So as soon as you start talking about Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't say nothing. Saturday, I don't say nothing. But anything after that, from the 6th, from midnight to 6,
okay.
being on the phone with her prior to, yeah. I can answer those questions.
Reason like y'all didn't go to the vigil, the one by the high school? Seriously?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
So security reasons, and this is what I'm fixing to tell you is going to spark a whole bunch of stuff in the comments. and I'm not afraid to answer any of this. The young lady who started to organize this vigil never even contacted us. Not one time has any of these vigils taken place as somebody tried to organize them with us as the parents. I think the only one that's been somewhat organized with a parent is the one that was done in Clarksville with Seth. Other than that, the one that was supposed to be out in front of my house was a security issue. My neighborhood said we don't want it here because our roads don't have sidewalks. We don't have easements. Technically, you're not even supposed to park on the street.
Yeah.
We found out about it, and then we found out that they were spreading it all over basically the county and state, and there was like tons and tons of people saying they were going to come. And there's zero parking here. It's not big gathering spot. So we asked for them to move it to the school, which is literally like half a mile from my house, if that,
It's not even that. It's like a quarter
and
mile down the street.
can accommodate all of the people.
Not
Yeah.
only that, but some of the people, like some of the comments and the stuff that's being said. And
I know.
if you're in our
reading
shoes,
now. I'm
it
trying
could
to
be
read.
it could be a security reasons, because if somebody shows up acting crazy, that's not kosher. One, it's not coming in our subdivision. I don't want it in front of my house. I don't need thousands of people in front of my house.
I know we're about keeping hope alive. I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna
Always.
come home.
He's gonna walk through that door. And this street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
That boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do with when he comes home.
And there was nobody else in the house that night with you.
Just me and my son.
Explain to me why you keep making comments about what people think of you, Chris. Why not focus on searching for Sebastian?
Well, I do focus on looking for Sebastian. But at the same time, when I said I'd answer questions and people want to put questions up there, and then you want to put your comments and your 2 cents in with a question, you're going to get an answer.
And
if people are interested in purchasing them or trying to get some ordered and sent to them, find me on Facebook, send me your just hit me up, and I will send you the point of contact, and you guys can reach out to him and work it out.
get with you to get that about the
Okay.
signs or whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, y'all, be nice.
Everybody's entitled to their opinions and their feelings. Don't get me wrong.
Now I'm flipping down it, and I'm like, what do you think now? We're 3 weeks later. What is your thoughts now? Like, what do you think?
I wish I had a freaking clue on where my son was, to be honest with you. None of it makes sense.
I mean, anything.
I mean, all I can say is everything that I've come up with, I've asked law enforcement to look into, and so far nothing has led to anything substantial in finding him. I mean, we've gone over wild probabilities,
Hey,
all
we got a
sorts of
lifelike bird
stuff,
inbound.
and we
10-4.
I haven't been able to figure out anything that explains where my son is.
They want to know, did the dog pick up that scent at the end of the driveway?
Can I? No, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. So I'd like to clarify this whole dog scent thing for once and for all.
Mhm.
So the dog scent, everybody said, oh, the dogs didn't get a scent. Dogs didn't get. The dogs got a scent.
Mhm.
What the dogs got and where it led to, there's a lot of misinformation as far as to the road, to the construction site, to this, to that, to this. For the record, there were so many dogs used. I don't know if we actually have a true count. On the day one, there was 5 dogs automatically. We know for a fact. They brought dogs in from out of state, different counties, all over the place. But of all the dogs, there was a couple that took them through a construction zone
Mhm.
and took them over to a retention pond. Now, the retention pond is no higher than knee deep. They walked it and they drained it. But from there, the scent disappears. There's poof. My answer is simple. We want correct information out there. We don't want false information, which unfortunately somebody has put out false information. And the downside is I mean, one anchor in particular. I don't need to put the name out there. The one news anchor, instead of just reporting, you know, kept insinuating stuff, which in itself is a problem. And it drew the focus away from Sebastian and started focusing more on, you know, who did it? Who did it? Well, these people are, and that was a problem. So we don't want false information. None of the parents, none of the family members want false information. We just want the accurate information out there and people to focus on finding him instead of bashing parents or bashing something that they don't like, and just if people would put that focus into finding Sebastian instead of bashing us, that would be amazing. We love you all regardless.
I think it would be great because she's got such a vast audience and a way of getting it out there big time.
Finding Sebastian is every bit of important as anything else. But at the same time, do I want to sit down with somebody who's drugged me through the mud, continues to drag us through the mud, and keeps putting false information out there, which causes a lot of problems, not just for us, but for the law enforcement folks that are also doing their job trying to find Sebastian. It's an
Well,
issue.
what about Nick Barris? I mean, that
That's who
he's
we're referring to.
okay.
Right. And I think it's everybody out there. There's stuff that people don't know, and they're not going to be, they won't know because they weren't privy to the conversations.
What would you say to Sebastian today?
I miss him. I want him home. Looking forward to him being back home. I'm looking to see, happy to get things back to normal instead of chaos. I mean, I'm not a man of emotional words, but Sebastian, he knows. Deep down, he knows.
Construction site near our house isn't like a skyscraper, it's just houses and homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're building a small subdivision.
And we've searched it several times.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, it's funny you say that because I've got confirmation that there's folks in Australia, Spain, England,
The
Austria,
UK.
UK they've got wind of this and they've got some posters posted. So it was actually kind of cool. I've never thought that would happen, but that's pretty cool. Well, I said it before, when he does come home, and everybody complained to how packed the block was with cop cars. Well, he's now become like the son of Sumner County, so whew, it's gonna be a long line.
I want to spread his face to the ends of the earth and back because he's out there somewhere and someone does know something and someone needs to come forward. Whoever may have him, assuming that someone might have him, needs to let him come home. And we need everybody everywhere to see his face and to know his face. All the missing children. But I personally think that the more people that know his face, the more likely it is that if he is out somewhere, that more likely someone will actually recognize him and be able to call and we can bring him home.
Because you did it. You did what you were supposed to do as a man or a woman, excuse me. A
Yeah.
new age thing nowadays. Sorry. Um, Righteousness, the right thing, that will get you a lot farther than the rest of it. I mean, it's one thing, and that's what I'm saying. JLR, this dude, he's gonna have to make a public apology. He's going to have to make it public for me to consider him. And the reason why I say that is because how much crap he put out there and to the level he has gone to certain topics. There's one topic, okay? My kids don't cross that line. I don't care who you are.
I understand. I'm just saying.
I mean,
it don't even have
one of the reasons it took us a little bit longer to do some of these interviews, okay, and this is before we started doing interviews and talking with media, we were kind of advised, hold off, don't do that. Well, eventually got to the point we needed to start talking to the media.
Mm-hmm.
The parents, myself, Katie, and Seth, all decided, we made a pact in the beginning, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to keep each other in the loop. We're going to talk to each other and ask. We're not just going to go out here and do our own thing, okay? That has always been our pact. You know, we would call Seth and say, hey, initially he didn't want to do any type of interviews, and we understood that.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, hey, man, do you want to, like, phone in with us? Do you want to come to the house and we'll do this as a group? What do you want to do? We've tried and we want to do this as a group. You know, unfortunately, you know, somewhere along the way, we've all kind of gotten off track, and he's kind of gone out and done his thing. We've kind of done our thing. Mrs. Rogers done her thing. I think his sister may have done something. I mean, but everybody's getting the word out. I told you and made you a promise that I'd come talk to you.
Yeah.
Never promised them.
Yeah. It worked
and
out.
See, they could have jumped in on your show. I wouldn't have been upset with that. I wouldn't have cared.
Get prepared to put on my boxing gloves.
No, and I mean, you put on boxing glove thinking you walking into a slugfest. No,
yeah, I wasn't sure.
I told you what I would do, and I've delivered. And like I said,
yeah.
you got people out there want to ask a hard question. And I got no problem still to this day. Tell them, find me on Facebook.
Yeah.
You want to ask a question that wasn't answered in the show? Hit me up on Facebook. Send me a direct message. I'll answer you.
Same as I was yesterday. Just continuing the search. Continue looking. I'm not going to give up. Nobody can make me give up.
And where have you been searching? Where do you think he is?
I've been searching everywhere. I mean, anything out of that 5-mile radius that the initial search did, they covered everything there. But there's stuff elsewhere. I mean, we got a lot of territory to cover. And it being over a month, he could be anywhere currently. So I'm searching everywhere.
You, Katie, and Chris had a meeting with TBI today. Did you find out any new information?
Not that I can discuss.
Any progression that might show hope in this search?
Oh, I always have hope. Can't take that away from me.
And how confident are you that Sebastian is alive, and what do you think he's doing right now?
Pretty sure he's probably playing video games somewhere. Nobody's letting him, you know, whoever's got him, they're not letting him see the regular news. They're not letting him surf the internet. Or else he'd know that I'm looking for him. And he'd know that he should actually be trying to get a hold of me. And that keeps me going.
Is there a strong reason to believe he may have been abducted?
I don't know if he's been abducted or if he's just, you know, over at a friend's house. Never know. But I'll know when I find him. I'll know exactly what has happened to him.
And other news outlets were reporting that there were lights seen in the backyard that were caught on camera by a neighbor's video. Is that true?
No. What that was a trash truck. Went through, picked up trash, and when it left, of course it went faster. It didn't have to stop to pick up trash. That's just false information provided by a particular person.
Did the dogs ever pick up a scent for Sebastian?
From my information that I've been given, no.
Did they find anything on Sebastian's cell phone that would, you know, kind of show that he was going to run away or where he might be?
Not that I know of. He didn't have any internet access or anything on there. He'd have been able to call, text, take a picture, send a picture, use the calculator. That's about it.
Was Sebastian in school on Friday, the day before he went missing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you, Chris, or Katie, or any of you suspects in this case?
No, we're not.
Have you been cleared?
I don't know if the investigation is still ongoing. We wouldn't be cleared until the investigation's done. But currently, from my understanding, they don't have any information that would attach us to any wrongdoing.
CPS has gone to Katie's house before. You didn't know about that until this investigation. How does that make you feel?
That somebody somewhere dropped the ball because I was never informed. And I'm the biological father. I have joint legal, joint physical custody. Somebody dropped the ball and didn't reach out and inform the father, which is me. And I don't understand why the state dropped the ball on that one.
And how did you find out about CPS?
Podcast.
And I mean, how does that concern you, especially with this case, that they might have done something to cause him to run away?
I don't know what that really means, but I just know that I don't have all the information.
Is there an official timeline? And I know people, there was, we went to bed at this hour, but does TBI or anyone have an official timeline as to the series?
I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm not involved in the investigation, so I wouldn't have it.
Have the three of you been in contact every day like you were several weeks ago about this?
I was in contact with both Katie and Chris today, but I've heard he said his phone is open and available. Well, so is mine. You can leave a voicemail. Like 7 or 8 people have already left me voicemails today. I'm going. I get people calling me while I'm on the phone, and it's like, I can't just sit there and answer the phone for everybody. If I did that, I probably wouldn't be able to get out of my house.
There's been a lot of criticism over this investigation. I'm sure you've received criticism as well as the Proudfoots. How does that make you feel in a time where you're just trying to find your son?
People are being, that goes back to those keyboard warriors I talked about on the first interview that you and I had. They're still at it. They'll never stop. There's cowards in this world, and then there's people who are go-getters. My feet, they're on the ground. They're never going to leave the ground. I'm going to find my son. Period.
And plans, today on moving forward, any more resources being used on this investigation, or anything you have to say about that?
The United Cajun Navy is currently sitting down there right now at 90 Volunteer Drive in Hendersonville. 10:30. That's when volunteers need to show up. 10:30. Show up, have your ID, sign the paperwork, and they send people out in teams. When you show up, there ain't nobody there except for a couple people. That's because they've already sent teams out. They're just going to keep sending teams out until we find my son.
Have there been a lot of volunteers coming out to help find Sebastian?
Today there was, and I want to thank everybody who did come out. We're seeing an increase, and we're going to continue to see an increase. I'd like the whole state of Tennessee to volunteer, and then we'll hit other states.
And you're Sebastian's father. Tell me, what is Sebastian like?
He's a unique child, all right? It's really hard to describe my son. Besides being unique. Whether he's up to no good or he's up to good, he's just got that uniqueness about him. It's really hard to describe. He's my mini-me. If he has a goal, he's going to accomplish that goal. People at school, they liked him. All the kids are wanting to know when he's going to come back. They want to help and volunteer. Teachers are they're putting out prayers every day. Everybody, it's coming up. It's Easter. I'm hoping for an Easter miracle. I could definitely use it in my life right now.
And why did they search the landfill?
I have no idea. They didn't. I'm not part of the investigation. They're not going to tell me stuff. I am emotionally attached as any parent should be.
And how often do you meet with TBI?
If I call them all the time. Call, text, hey, any new news? They either let me know or they let me know.
Are you happy with the work that all these agencies have done, or do you think there needs to be more?
There could probably always be more. We just got to figure out what more is necessary. Am I happy with them? I'm not unhappy. But you asked me that after my son's back, and it's going to be, I'm happy. All right? Because in law enforcement, it's always goal-oriented, you know? Go to work, put a smile on your face, get the job done. I know that they're putting their effort, 150% effort into this. And I appreciate that. And I'm hoping it will pay off with fruition.
Do you think Katie and Chris are suspects?
I have no idea.
Sebastian's been missing for more than a month now. What keeps you getting up every morning, going out and searching for him?
Being a dad, having perseverance, wanting him to come home, wanting to watch him finish growing up.
Do you wear this every day? Talk to me about this shirt.
This right here is my own billboard to find my son. People notice people. People notice what people are wearing. So I am a walking handout. I have these in my car.
How do you select that photo? It's so cute.
Because it's cute. It's got a smile. It's the last picture I took of him.
Okay guys, Lady Freedom here. Sorry I didn't come in the beginning of the video. I just wanted to jump right into it. So I wanted to go over just a little reason why I wanted to post the entire footage of the neighborhood of the Texas Roadhouse routes, because obviously there were no signs on any of them. The last one that we're showing here is the highway, and there's none. So I just wanted to point that out. And the reason why I'm kind of harping on the yard signs, other than the fact that Chris was so adamant that his family provided these yard signs, and we've distributed them around, and we're doing all this. Well, there's not even any missing posters, and that's their territory. So but a little history about why we've publicized missing people. So here's some of the origins. In the 70s and 80s, and then in the 90s, missing posters were used, and they were copied in printing shops, and they were black and white. They were grainy, just high contrast. They weren't very, very great indicators of what color eyes are or what color their hair is. Quote, "One does not just print one or two missing persons posters. When a loved one goes missing, one needs hundreds and maybe even thousands of copies to spread around." End quote. And that's Jell Havermans, who is the author of the article that I read about the missing person posters and how they came about. So he starts off by going into the milk carton kids. And so during the late 1970s and 1980s, missing child cases garnered a great deal of media attention in the United States. So among many children that went missing were 6-year-old Ethan Patz, and then also Adam Walsh. So Ethan Patz, he was born on October 9th, 1972, and he passed May 25th, 1979. He was 6 years old on May 25th, 1979, when he was taken on his way to school from the school bus stop in the Soho neighborhood of Lower Manhattan. His disappearance helped launch the missing children movement, which included new legislation and new methods for tracking down missing children. Several years after he disappeared, Ethan Patz was one of the first children to be profiled on the photo on a milk carton campaigns of the early 1980s. And milk used to come in a milk carton. So it was like you would get at school, like the little milk cartons, but it was a larger carton of milk, and people's faces and children's faces were going on the milk cartons with the missing information and letting everybody know that they were missing. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan designated May 25th, the anniversary of Ethan's disappearance, as National Missing Children's Day in the United States. And we also all remember Adam Walsh. So Adam John Walsh, November 14th, 1974 to July 27th, 1981. He was also an American child who was abducted from a Sears department store at the Hollywood Mall in Hollywood, Florida on July 27th, 1981. His severed head was found 2 weeks later in a drainage canal alongside Highway 60, Yeehaw Junction in rural Indian River County, Florida. His death garnered national interest and was made into the 1983 television film Adam, seen by 38 million in its original airing. His father, John Walsh, is very well known for his years of commitment to finding the dirtbags on America's Most Wanted. His son, Callahan Walsh, Adam's brother, works side by side with his dad relentlessly to this day. So he too was last seen with his mother shopping at the Sears when he was abducted. Back then, Sears was one of the powerhouses when it came to selling home goods, apparel, appliances. You could pretty much get anything at Sears back in the day. Now, Ronald Reagan's campaign produced advertisements on milk cartons and were used nationwide to publicize cases of missing children from the early 1980s until the late 1990s, and everyday product was used as a canvas for traditional posters in order to create awareness amongst the public. The portraits of the children were usually taken from school photographs, says Jell Havermans. In my opinion, it was a great way to bring awareness to missing children, since most households, even if you don't have kids, purchase milk. Now, Amber Alerts came around in the 1990s with the introduction of the Amber Alert system, a more modern child abduction alert system distributed by media channels and via SMS or text messaging that is still used in the United States today. So we all know about the Amber Alert, and it was initiated in the U.S. after the murder of Amber Hangerman in 1995. Her death sparked outcries for tougher laws on child molesters and initiated developments of the Amber Alert program, which used the SMS or text messaging, internet, and radio to quickly alert the public when a child went missing. Inspired by the success of the Dutch Amber Alert, the Amber Alert Europe Foundation was launched in 2013. In many European countries, public digital signs are used to display the image of a missing child, basically a missing poster. It's really, really cool. It can instantly be displayed on ATMs, digital billboards, road signs, and other digital displays in the public spaces. So really, really awesome technology there. That's over in the Dutch do that. So the increased use of the internet over the course of the 21st century largely shifted the spread of the missing persons to be distributed online. The FBI intelligence services and local governments have established online databases in which missing persons cases are archived and categorized, and then they can be easily accessible to investigators and the public. So that's awesome. Technology advances have led to the large improvements in the digital facial constructions as well. So digital technologies are also used to create age progression of the missing person as to match their respective appearance to what they look like current day. So if they were to be older, that's what they would look like. And there's a really uncanny resemblance, and many times the age progression photos are spot on. We know this because many of who have been found using age progression technologies, when they are found, many times they look just like the age progression photo. So it's really useful technology, and I guess the computer just takes all the facial features and arranges them as such, and it makes it look older. So it's pretty cool. The rise of social media further increased the online circulation and spread of missing persons flyers. Images on these digital flyers were often distributed in color and with more elaborate descriptions of the person in question. Its imagery sometimes matches the characteristics for product advertisements, since its colors are vivid and layouts are designed to garner attention from people. So that's why we want them to be really bright and have as much information as possible. Through online communities, pictures are shared and easily have helped to solve numerous missing persons cases. So everybody out there, the sleuths, everybody that gets all this information and creates these signs like what Duchess does, and makes missing posters and makes them so colorful and beautiful. I mean, that's what we need. That's exactly what we need, versus the old grainy black and white, because we need to know what this person's going to look like, so we have that in our brain if we see them around. And this brings us to the importance of the missing persons posters and signs. So billboards can be an absolute game changer as well, because they capture people's attention as they're living their everyday life. Now, during my research, I read an article by Jell Havermans, and it's called Missing: A Brief History of the Missing Person Poster in Society, Art, and Fiction. How the aesthetics of a missing poster can channel dread into our everyday lives. Now, obviously, I don't agree with many of the opinions shared by this writer, because I definitely understand the importance of missing posters. I believe we need to be aware, spread awareness, and be motivated when we see these missing photos and posters. It's a call to action, and the call to action is coming from the family members who are desperately trying to find their loved ones. The Proudfoots had so much support. So in the very beginning, 7 days in, we started out with Duchess, and they came on her podcast because Katie's cousin is a member of her channel, or a subscriber, and so she had reached out, and they went on there first before they even went and spoke with the news. So right off the bat, they go to Duchess, and Trev also was on there. He is so compassionate, kind, and helpful, and she is very well connected. Duchess is, the organizations that she has that help find the missing, she's very well connected to those, and she dedicates her entire channel to that. Her voice is like getting a warm hug, actually. She's so sweet, and she was so kind to them. And what she and Trevor echoed was to show the Proudfoots grace and compassion, and to empathize with their situation. There is a fine line when it comes to public curiosity. Not every person is the same, and not every person is going to react like the next. I also understand that people go overboard and come up with false leads, and for some reason, I don't know, they enjoy trolling people in their darkest hour. We all need to stand up against that behavior. If I'm being fair and honest, I have to mention that there was radio silence from the Proudfoots when Duchess and Trevor were talking about the billboards. And with that, it begs the question, what are they hiding? With the amount of love and understanding that was shown to them, people calling in, donating their hard-earned money to create billboards for Sebastian, because it's the right thing to do. If you have the extra to give, or even if you don't and you still give it, it's a sparkle of humanity, because after all, evil only exists when good men and women sit by and do nothing. It's a good thing to do, and it's the right thing to do. So if you have it, definitely give, because, it's the right thing. It's a double-edged sword in this case, because there is a 15-year-old child that is gone missing, and he's been gone for 55 days today. And even though Chris Proudfoot has said on several occasions that Sebastian poof disappeared, I want to make it real simple. That's impossible. God made us all unique. He gave us a spirit, a soul, and I'm a firm believer that even when we do pass on from this life, we don't disappear. We remain. The double-edged sword here, with Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' story being the first story that I am covering on this channel, I wish I could show love and support and condolences to all three of his parents, but with my suspicious mind and my spidey senses tingling and the chills I get in my bones when Chris brags about doling out punishments or he makes fun of Sebastian, which he's done on multiple occasions, and his mother sits by and allows all of it and even laughs at him herself, I find myself tiptoeing across the fine line because I feel a duty to stand up for Sebastian. Special Books by Special Kids is a YouTube channel. It's about people and kids with special needs. The channel travels all around talking to people with special needs and asking questions about their diagnoses and getting to know the people. The most common answer when asking a child what they would like for people to do when they see them is to say hi. The kids that are nonverbal and their parents have to speak for them, that's the first thing that they say, is they just want them to say hi. They really want friends. That's all they care about. That's all they want, is to be treated like a regular person. Even people with special needs know when they're being teased. They know when you don't want to be around them or when you're not paying attention to them. No matter what your view is on what you think they can or can't do, or if you think that they don't know what you're talking about, I'm here to tell you that they do. Sebastian knows that you make fun of him, and so that needs to stop. Nobody wants to hear you teasing a person who can't tease you back because you're his stepdad and because you have the power to get him in trouble and to punish him. So maybe next time you talk with an interviewer, Mr. Chris, don't make fun of Sebastian anymore. Because if I took a poll, I bet most people would say that that is the one thing that upsets them the most about you. So knock it off. Last night, April 20th, 2024, Seth Rogers had a candlelight vigil at the high school that was shown in today's video, and he had a message for everyone, so I wanted to go ahead and show you that.
So something big happened tonight. So I was asked tonight to stream the vigil for Sebastian Rogers, and when I got there, this was going on. That's Seth Rogers, and that's Chris Proudfoot. And I saw them talk for quite a while before the vigil started. Now, Chris was not able to stay for the vigil. He had something that he had to do, which is not my business to disclose. But Seth obviously did. But then Seth shared what their discussion was about. And I'm going to show you.
Me and Chris are putting our differences aside. It's not about our egos. It's about finding Sebastian. Me, Chris, and Katie will begin working together, and if everybody else could just fuck off and put your egos aside, help us find our son. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is the goal of this shit. If you can't get on that...
All right, guys, we heard the man. He said that he wants to join forces with the Proudfoots, and that's what he, deems necessary right now. So my take on Seth Rogers joining forces with the Proudfoots is maybe a little bit personal. So when my daughter was 9, I went through a divorce with her father, and many of the same elements that exist between Seth and the Proudfoots existed in our divorce and in after our divorce. And as I mentioned in previous video, I suffered narcissistic abuse and physical violence by my ex-husband. So joining forces with my ex-husband and his current wife, who again, I have dealt with very similar circumstances to what Seth has had to deal with when sending Sebastian to the other household. Many of the same dynamics exist. However, if my daughter was missing, I would have no choice. I commend him for doing it, and hopefully he'll have access to Sebastian's room where he can research his son's disappearance. I really hope and pray for all the best. It's not an ideal partnership, but it's necessary. Now, Seth's statement, I guess, has gotten a lot of people upset, and, maybe their feelings are hurt. I know that we're all very emotionally invested and we care very much about Sebastian. So his statement was raw, and, he was really upset. I could tell that he obviously had just got off a heated conversation. Earlier, I was watching Pascal's show, and, he mentioned something about him just getting off of that fight or off of that heated conversation. And so what I came up with, I was thinking about what he said, and it made a lot of sense. Have you ever been so mad dealing with a narcissist that you catch fleas from them? Or have you ever lived around a narcissist and caught the fleas from them? You match the you match the narcissist as a defense mechanism, and sometimes you match it because you're just so angry because they got you so worked up. And when dealing with someone like that, oftentimes it can make us say the wrong thing or pipe off, and just because all that negativity is just swirling around, and it's just a kind of a conundrum of ick. So matching the narcissist is a defense mechanism. So I'm sure that was a very heated conversation, and so I hope people don't take that personally. Seth is going to do whatever it takes to find Sebastian. He's been doing that since day one, and that's my take on that. Like I said, the candlelight vigil was held at the high school there. It was really beautiful. There was prayer. I live out of state, so I lit my candle for Sebastian, and I will keep praying because I know it works. And I'm going to wear green on April 24th, and that's a Wednesday. So this Wednesday, April 24th, it's Wear Green Day for Sebastian Rogers. So drop some green hearts and wear some green hearts and light a candle, say a prayer that Sebastian will be found as soon as possible. Thank you, Smiley, for posting this information so it can be shared. And thank you for trying to buy the yard signs from Chris. I know you haven't heard back from him yet. In my opinion, that's horrible and immeasurable. All right, guys, thank you so much. This is Lady Freedom. This is my raw narrative. I hope you enjoyed listening to it, and I hope that you'll like and subscribe. Most of all, I hope that we find Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers as soon as possible. That is the main goal, and no matter what anybody says or anybody does, that's got to be the focus. Thank you all. Have a great day. Stay safe. This is Lady Freedom. Lady Justice is blind, but we are not. Lady Justice listens carefully, and so should we. And then one more, and I promise I won't get teary this time. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And that's Confucius.